Saumil Trivedi is with us. Mayuresh Joshi is with us as well. Gentlemen, thanks very much for your time. Thanks for waiting. Saumil, so you basically are raising what you believe is the base for the market a little higher given what has happened over the last few days, right?
Yes, Prashant, good morning. Now, I think we are at, I mean, there is stating the obvious that we are at a very major inflection point here, tomorrow being the result day. And I think around these times when such major events are around, it always pays dividends to look back, I mean, rewind and do a little bit of reverse engineering to see what can happen in the future, rather than take the call for the volatility of the day. And if you, and doing so, and I'll leave to the viewers to make their own conclusions, whether they tally with mine or not, in terms of thinking through the whole scenario. Now, if you go back right from 2008 onwards, taking that it was the decline was on account of international factors, so we also collapsed, and the liquidity brought us up back to the previous tops. And from 2010 onwards, some kind of a rot set in. Maybe you call it lack of leadership, decision, scams, whatever. But 2010 to 2014, just before we broke up, about 6,350, we were in a limbo, not knowing where we'll go. As a matter of fact, middle of August to end of August, 28th of August precisely last year, we were sort of falling like 9 pins and could have gone anywhere. That was the general scenario that time, and technically also market was falling apart. Then suddenly it reversed, and come behold, 13th September, we saw Modi being announced as a Prime Minister candidate, and the whole picture changed. Now, that point onwards, market has not looked back. From 5,100, it rallied to 6,300, stalled a little, taken that out, and today we are at around 71.50 right now as I see. So in the process, what has actually happened? I think this is a very important thing that should be borne in mind going forward for the next 2-3 years till because I think we are getting into a very exponential rise kind of a mode in all high probability, very high probability. I can't be certain about it, but very high probability, sensing the way monthly indicators are pushing upwards, and if we close around this levels end of this month. What has happened to my mind is real big bet money has been made on the assessment that there is going to be a stable government going forward. And the only thing was missing here, as far as Indian story, was leadership, was stability, whatever you want to call it, I don't know. But real big money has come into this market, and that money is not going to get shaken up very easily, unless a major disaster occurs. Now, going by all the opinion polls, and even our NDTV profit, a very exhaustive one, which has been taken after taking proper time about it, shows and points towards a stable government. Now, there is also a surprise element left in terms of an outlier, which has predicted even 340 NDA total. If that happens, we'll have a blast out like nobody has seen before. I think it might exceed that 10% circuit also. So all that combined together gives me the feel that we are in a very structural bull market ahead. And therefore, in that context, from 6640, which was tested very seriously right now, before the exit poll thing started, I'm raising that to 6730. Idea is don't look for the tops. I'm not putting any estimates. I mean, the long-term estimate of 12,000 by first quarter of 2016 remains. Maybe we'll hit it early. I don't know. That will be welcome. We'll revise it as and when we reach there. But the point right now here is keep on assessing your risk downside. This I'll put at 6,700, which is about 5%. Look at Bank Nifty. I've been insisting last 2-3 sessions that PSU space is coming to the fore, will come into the limelight. Right. Despite this hard run up, the PSU banks yesterday, the way they run up is an indication. Say PNB Bank, for example, despite bad results, it just cracked and then again bounced back to almost 844. So all these are pointers to some very big money is getting into place, to underbeaten stocks, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to go into the valuation part of it, but this is a perceptual change, a paradigm shift kind of shift taken place about perception on India's potential going ahead, particularly in light of the kind of leadership that is possible. So Bank Nifty, for example, I've been bullish, but 14,000, my target has been hit. I'm setting aside right now. But that also, I think 12,700 becomes the floor, which is 10%. And Nifty, it is 5%. So 5%, 10% matches their volatility.
Got that.
And therefore, I would say don't try to time this market in terms of corrections or waiting for correction. You like whatever stock you like. If you follow any of our recommendations, that's fine. We are also giving you stop losses. But otherwise, good quality stocks. It has been a buy and hold market. I think I had added some time back that we are coming to a buy and hold market. It has started some time back from 6,500 onwards actually. But it is going to continue to remain for next 2, 3, 5 years. I don't know.
Any fresh ideas on that list, Saumil?
Well, I have, Prashant, just waiting for tomorrow to get over to because the risk rewards are not fitting. I'm sticking to a discipline of finding proper risk rewards which are in excess of more than 1:3. Those rewards are not coming, and the risk on the downside, because the names that are running up have run up so hard that the risk becomes more than 10%. Now that, because there is a tomorrow is an incident which you never take anything for granted and 100% surety. So then that is not the worth taking risk. I have enough stocks on my plate, almost 15 of them. So I am not out of the market. I am very much invested in the market. So I don't want to add anything new and become overly smart in that case, what I'm trying to say.
Saumil, good advice as always. Thanks for coming in.